Welcome once again for another wonderful episode here on Rise Talks Business Spotlight Series. What do here? We shine spotlight on businesses that are here for the community to just help the community out, help the business expand, and just also share some knowledge that people might not even understand that they really need. If you don't know me by now, I'm Moses Adesimanolu, and I'm the co-founder of Rise Business Solutions. And what do we do at Rise Business Solutions? We help tax entrepreneurs, motivated, inspired, enthusiastic individuals to level up on their life, for the up and up to start a tax business. But we're not here to talk about that today. We have here a wonderful man here, Thomas Lofton, EJ. This guy is a phenomenal guy. He is a real estate expert, gentrification guru, celebrity car builder, built lowriders for hip hop stars. He is an author, and he's here to talk about the real estate. He's here to talk about the gentrification in real estate. Thomas Lofton, TJ, how you doing today, sir?
Well, I'm blacknificent. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing awesome, man. It's a beautiful day. It's a great day. We just have to make great things better, man. So, hey, man, I just want to just hear some things about your business. What's the name of your business?
You say what's going on in business?
Yeah, I said, what's the name of your business?
I go by Thomas T.J. Lofton, but my company is Lofton Productions. But you'll find me under Thomas T.J. Lofton. That's how you find me. Research me.
That's great. And what's your website? Do you have a website?
ThomasTJLofton.com. That's
awesome.
That's LOFTIN.com. ThomasTJLofton.com.
Beautiful. Yeah, man. So, hey, TJ, we here to talk about this need of real estate. So people don't really understand the need of investing in real estate. They don't understand that real estate is really taking you to the next level. It's taking you out of the victim zone and out of actually creating circumstances for yourself. So could you just touch on that and just let the people know what is really going on with the gentrification?
Well, the government has decided to remove home ownership for the African American community. They're doing it all over the country. So that's why you'll see large amounts of homelessness. You'll see a lot of people struggling to keep their homes, or a lot of people struggling to find a house to live in or rent something. Landlords are getting people out of those rental situations and jacking the rents up. So it's a real problem in the community nationally. Just all around the country, this is going on. It's no one particular area. It's systematic going on all over the place. So we that's what made me write the book, because people need answers. They need solutions. They need to know what to do. So of course I talk about how to monetize. We got to learn how to make money off of this situation. Meaning, we can't let them come in here and build bigger houses in our community, or tear down the existing houses and build large apartment buildings, and yet we crying that we can't get a job. But at the same time, people say, how can we make money off of this? How do we monetize it? We need to learn how to do the things that people are paying for. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what are people paying for? What is gentrification? Gentrification is redevelopment, where they're coming in and building brand new structures, and they know we don't have those trades because most people have degrees nowadays. Mm-hmm. So how do we monetize gentrification? Learn a trade, become a developer. Come in and learn what it takes to turn around. How can you build houses? How can you start a company building houses, start a company building hotels, strip malls, etc. That's how we got to monetize this gentrification.
Okay, great. So, like, I understand we have to start building, but most people now don't have the money to really get into stuff like that. So, like, for the majority of people who are just who maybe have a few $1,000s and just looking to, see how they could do something, what is some kind of advice that you would give those particular people?
Well, for one, they got to stop saying they don't have the money. How do you know you don't have the money if you never try, right?
Exactly.
Nope, you can't tell me you don't have the money. Now, if you're on unemployment on Section 8 or something like that, then maybe that may be your answer. But a lot of people on Section 8 can afford to go buy a piece of $500 land with financing, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So most people don't know that they can afford to get involved in real estate because this false disinformation has been put in our community that makes you think that housing is far from affordable. You can't get housing. You can't afford to buy a house. So, hey, you just locked out. But the reality is you may not be able to afford to buy a house, but you definitely can afford to build one. If you got any kind of money coming in, you can afford to build a house. So what do I mean by that? You got people buying $500 pieces of land in California and turning around will buy an RV and will live on their land while they building their house.
Wow.
So that money that, everybody who tells me, they say, oh, I don't have the money for that. Okay, well, it's going to take some sacrifice. So what do you mean you don't have the money to build? You never asked me. So now that you asked me, how do we do it? It's just as simple as me saying it's going to take some sacrifice. What do you do? Okay, what are you paying a month for your rent? That's a question for you, good brother. Or what are you paying a month? What's your average rent for a person in Atlanta nowadays?
Exactly. I mean, the average rent is, maybe like $1,000, something like that. The average rent you get you a decent place, $1,000, 1,500, 2,000.
Okay.
So between $1,000 to $2,000, the average rent most people are paying.
Okay. So the average person is renting between 1,000 to 2,000 in Georgia. California, the average rent is 1,500 to 2,500. You know what I mean? So now we got both coasts, right? So in between there may be a little cheaper, but what are people doing? In California, you can find land for $500 if you know the game. That's why I teach people this game. I offer these training courses to teach people how to find the land affordably. So imagine, let me kind of play it out for you. You got people who your average person on Section 8 or on government assistance gets a $10,000, get about an $8,000 to $10,000 tax return. You know that?
Wow.
Every year, or Section 8 or food stamp sisters will get a check from a tax return for $8,000 to $10,000, depending on how many children they get. So they literally get paid to stay out of work. You stay off of work, we're gonna give you $8,000. So let's start with the tax season. You get your $8,000. It don't gotta be $8,000, it could be $5,000, and you turn around and buy a piece of land. You can go find a cool area that's nice, that's okay. It ain't gotta be perfect. It don't have to be what your heart desires. And you turn around and you buy that piece of land and you turn around and get ready to build you a house. So you go buy you a little RV for $2,500 or put down $500 and make some monthly payments on it for $5,000. You feel me? So now you got a piece of $500 land or $5,000 land that you're making payments on, right? And you turn around that money that you spend a month on rent, you turn around and invest that into your house. So you don't have to have a house built by 3 months. I've seen people working on building their house for 2 years. You feel me? So we talking about 1,000 here, 2,000 there, 1,200 here. You know what I'm saying? And before you know it, a year later, your house is 90% completed. So that's the difference. We got to go back to construction. People who are looking to buy houses, the houses are jacked up. You see what I'm saying? The houses are so expensive that people can't afford them. But the people who are looking to build a house, they can build a house that's affordable to them. Most people who build houses, the houses are paid for. Y'all hear what I'm saying? They pay cash to build these houses. So, for example, if you really ain't got no money, you really don't got to put it like this. We can't have this conversation if you ain't got no money. When I think about people who ain't got no money, what are they doing?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with them. But everybody got something.
People always complain and say, "Oh, I don't have no money. I don't have no money." But then you gotta pay rent. You gotta pay for gas. You gotta pay for your. Right. You probably gotta buy some shoes or whatever clothes. So you got some money. It's just
got money
that you gotta.
People when people come to me with that comment, I ain't got no money. We can't afford to do that. I look outside, I be like, what you driving? Oh, I got a 2017 BMW. You know what I'm saying? What are you paying for that? Oh, it's only 700 a month. Oh, okay. Maybe you need to take that BMW back.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Walk
Prioritize
away.
your life.
Yeah, maybe you need to take back. I had a partner of mine. He would always complain about he don't got no money and he want to do better. And I'd be like, man, you drive a $80,000 Benz. Your daughter drive a $50,000 Benz, and you leasing both of them. So what are you paying for those two car notes a month? He said, oh, about $1,500. I said, I say, I say, hey, a Toyota, a used Honda Civic will get you for your daughter, in the used Mercedes from the auction for you. It get you where you need to go, right? So we can free up $1,500 a month right there. Now, where are you renting at? You talking about your landlord raising the prices on his house that you renting? Oh man, he went from 1,500 to 2,000, and I've been paying it, but man, things is tight. Okay, well, why don't you buy you or buy a piece of land and buy an RV, move on your land, and let's work on building you a house. And in about a year or a couple years, put it like this: we get rid of that house note that he paying $2,000 a month, and another 15. That's 3,500 a month, just in those two things right there. And you can roll into building a house from the ground up. So imagine this. You decide, okay, well, your money, you want to pay for it. It's easier to pay for it the smaller the house is. So if you build in a smaller house, meaning 1,200 square feet for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, you know what I'm saying? That's a modest size house, but you're building it to where you can add on to it later. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You can come back later and add on another 4,000 square feet when your money get right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that's what it is. That's what you remember during Black Wall Street. People would say, "Oh, when they came and burned down the black folks' houses, they said we as a community did what?" My good brother, what did we do when the white folks were burned down the black family's house?
I don't want to say.
They say we would come together and build that house back, right?
Yeah.
You know why we would be able to do that? Because we had the skills to do that back then. We knew how to build houses. So now we don't have those skills. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And then we look down on those skills like you ain't gonna make no money. Houses out here, $1 million almost in California. You talk about we ain't you don't want to build houses, man? Are you kidding me?
The money is right there for you. The money is right there for you to make already. You just gotta tap into it.
Houses in Georgia, $500,000 and up, 600,000, 700,000, and you telling me, ain't no money in being a carpenter? Ain't no money in, you may not find a job in carpentry because the Hispanics lock us out of those industries or the Europeans lock us out. But if you start your own business in those industries, you'll become a billionaire in the end with these high prices, You come back, and then, what's even crazier? Here goes some more game. Do you know Home Depot teach those classes for free?
Look at that.
Home Depot, Lowe's, and all those repairs, those home house centers. They teach free classes on how to hang TVs on the wall, how to put granite countertops, how to do tile floors, all kind of stuff, man. And you can just walk in. That's some of my best educators. Some of my best coaches was the guy at Home Depot and Lowe's. You feel me?
You see,
I go in there and say,
that's a good pointer right there. Home Depot and Lowe's. If you guys don't know, now you know the DIY, do it yourself. You can go over there and learn some quick pointers. Building your house from the scratch is really gonna help you guys out. Like my good brother here is saying, TJ, is basically letting you guys know that when you build from scratch, you tend to spend lesser than actually buying a house that's already made. It's just like getting a tailor, a cloth from the tailor. If you know where to get the clothes from, you got a connection in China, and you know how to get the clothes made and everything, then you don't have to pay the high that Louis Vuitton or Gucci that get it made over there in China is charging you anyway. That's basically what he's saying right here. You have the money, but you have to just prioritize your life and figure out what you want to do with it. Good pointers, brother. So I wanted to also ask you, what propelled you to get into this business? What were you seeing? What were the problems that you were seeing that made you to just start this and write your book? Very amazing book too.
Well, for me, I started in this business when I was 9 years old. You know, I started learning about this business. I was being prepared for something, and I didn't realize it back then. You know what I mean? Uh, because of the drive, because of the gang violence in Compton, California, where I'm from, we had a lot of people being murdered because their mom would ask them to go to the grocery store, but the grocery store would be in the wrong area, you know, and they'd get murdered. So some guys in my neighborhood decided to buy some land in our neighborhoods and turn around and build some strip malls with some mini markets, some barbershops, beauty salons, you know, burger stands, things for us to go to that our parents would need. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I was fortunate for me, I live right next door to one of the masterminds. So I got to learn about blueprints when I was 9 years old to 12. I was learning about blueprints. I learned about shopping centers. I learned about how to position a shopping center. I learned about how to buy into a franchise or how to determine could we create our own franchise. You know, how do we hire the people in our community and create jobs? You know, I found out about competition. How do we identify? So having all this training at such a young age, it gave me years and years to watch the community grow because I knew so much about it. So I would just drive down the street or be ride down the street on my bike, be like, oh, that's a good place to put a strip mall. That's a great place to put a barbershop. That'd be a good place to put a little mini market, you know. So by the time I got older and I realized, you know, what people was making, I'm a numbers man. I love to hear about numbers, you know.
Mhm.
So I would hear people say, oh, that job pays $40,000 a year. So I would be like, 40,000 divided by 12, you know, all right, good brother. That don't add up. You can't live off of that, you know. Then they'd be like, oh, this career, he got a college degree, and that career pays 45 to 60,000. I'd be like, dang, you can't live off that either. So by
No.
the time the houses hit a certain price, I realized if college students can't afford to buy these houses, then that's a problem because they supposed to be the best of the best. So I know you're familiar with Dr. Ancestor Sabi.
Of course, yes.
Yeah,
Great.
I decided I needed to give back. So I created a DVD about entrepreneurship and real estate. And I went to Lamert Park to sell that DVD. You know, I had $1 million worth of game on that DVD, and I sold it for $10. You know, it was a give back. Let me give back and let me tell these people what's really going on. But here's the funny part: people didn't know who I was in that world. You know what I mean? In the community, that's where a lot of our conscious people hung out at. And you know, if you ain't affiliated in some type of a clique, then it's hard to let you in. So
Yeah.
people didn't know who I was, so they didn't really care to get that DVD. So I sold a bunch of them, but I didn't sell enough of them the way I could help people, you know. But I made a name for myself when they tried to gentrify Lamert Park and kick everybody out. I was the one that organized everybody and stopped them from doing it, you know. But
Mm,
let
nice.
me rewind back real quick and go back to my story. You know, another guy in my community, I had one guy some of the guys was building strip malls and buying up a lot of real estate. So that's how I learned a lot about it at a young age. But I had another brother by the name of Gary May. He was building lowriders. So I was able to go over Gary May's house and sit in his garage with him and watch him build cars all day, watch him interact with money, taking money. And, you know, I watched him pay out money with people. And I learned that, dang, you determine where your money go, and you can make a decision on who you want to give money to for these parts that you're buying. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, that's entrepreneurship. So he got me at 9 and 10, 11 years old counting money. Okay, well, that guy I made a profit of $5,000. So he told me something that changed my life. He said, man, if you learn how to do this, TJ, work on these cars and build these lowriders and these custom cars, you'll never be broke. And in fact, if you stick with it, you'll end up a millionaire. So I'm like, man, that kind of like messed with me because I was like, my mom like, you better go get a job, a real job. I'm like, hold on, man, that ain't gonna make me a millionaire. Mr. Gary told me I'm gonna be a millionaire if I learn how to work on cars. So I turned around and I ran with it. I started building cars out of mom's backyard. I was earning about $5,000 or $6,000 a month at 18, 19 years old. So she eventually got tired of me bringing all them junk cars back there. She said, You working on them drug dealer gangbanger cars, you know?
Uh,
I said they pay bills in Walmart, you know, all these other places take their money too. You know, why are you looking at me because I'm taking different people's money. You know, I don't ask these guys where they work at, where the money comes from. So anyway, mom's eventually put me out the house and she got tired of me not going. She said, get a good job, a real job, or go to the military or get out my house. So I figured like, dang, hopefully with this 6,000 a month, I should be able to find me a place to live. Hey, this is back in 1991. You feel me? Hey, I got $6,000 a month. I'm trying to hopefully I should be able to. I'm like scared, thinking, dang, I don't know if she done put me out. What I'm gonna do? But see, that goes back to we gotta be able to tell our children we gotta recognize value when we see it. She should have been able to say, boy, you make more money than me. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't see it like
she
that.
didn't know that. She didn't see that.
But she was supposed to say, boy, what you sell that car for?
Exactly.
You know, how much money you put into that?
1 second, bro. 1 second.
That turned out to be the best thing that she ever did for me. You know that? It forced me into the real world to where now I had to see the world for what it really is. So when she put me out, I had to go find me a place to build cars at. And someone said, man, you can go, you know, over to the strip mall in this building. I remember, you know, the real estate learning I had that I could go rent a building. Because remember, I had learned at a young age how to rent stuff out. You know, we was doing commercial stuff for strip malls, for barbershops and stuff like that. But I needed some garage space to where I can work on the car. A garage, warehouse space. So I didn't know about warehouse space being affordable. Man, I went and found me a spot where I could put two cars in there for $500 a month, man. I was like, oh man, this is affordable. I can afford $500. Then I found me another spot to rent for $500. I said, oh man, I can keep $5,000 a month. So anyway, I started building cars in my shop, man, and that helped me out a lot. You know what I'm saying? So putting me out, put me in the real world, you know? Now I got people that I didn't know coming in my shop. They see all the lowriders sitting outside. And then on top of that, you know, someone came to me and, hey, brother, man, if you got people coming from all over the place, dude, you should advertise. I say, what's that? You know what I'm saying? Advertise. What I got to do that for? He said, man, you got people coming from all over Southern California, man. You should advertise internationally or nationally. So I advertised locally, you know, $500 a month, man. I didn't want to pay that check. I didn't want to write that check every month. I was complaining about that. But when I wrote that first $500 check and my name hit the airways that TJ is building cars, blah, 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 income quickly went up to $15,000 a month like the next week. You know, I was making it was just bananas. So fast forward the story, I was able to go back to my community and hire a lot of my homeboys and say, man, this car stuff, it really pay good money. Y'all should get into this. Come on out the backyard, come on to the main street. You know what I'm saying? Get some of this real money. So all of a sudden, people started calling me from out of town. Okay, now the lowrider guys, these rappers started coming out. You know, I grew up in Compton, so a lot of the rap guys started doing videos, and we would put cars in the videos. Rest in peace, John Singleton. He did that movie, and we was able to turn around and bring lowriders to the Boys in the Hood movie. You know, so that kind of gave us a taste of something different. Where okay, cats gonna pay us to put a car in the movie? Like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, $500 to show up and hang out all day and meet people. So I started doing stuff like that. Then next thing you know, we started doing rap videos, movies, TV shows, commercials. So when NWA took off and went overseas, because they was like the first rap group that blew up, and they had lowriders in their videos, so that opened the door for us to make a lot more money. So every time a video came out, people would call me and say, TJ, I want a Rag 64 like that one Ice Cube got on the front of his video, on front of his album cover, CD cover, whatever. Or TJ, I want a lowrider like that one Denzel Washington was driving in Training Day. So that was like free advertisement for me, you know?
So that's good, man. So you use that to monetize yourself into the game. You know, doing this lowriders for this hip hop stars. You use that to monetize to even it was get into the real estate business after you found out that it was a need in the community. It was a need in gentrification. So you got into it from the lowrider business, correct?
I got into the low rider. I mean, the real estate side of things. When how I got into the real estate was when nobody really wanted a low rider shop next door to them, right? So they would always complain. Young black dude out here with all these guys that look like, anytime black guys come together, they must be gang members, right? So
Exactly.
they ain't coming over there with suits and ties on. They must be gang members. So people would always complain, and they don't want me there and all of that. So one day I'm thinking about moving. It's like it's happening too much. All my partners, they get forced in situations where they want to move. But I realized over the years, this is how white folks act around black folks that's doing good. They want you to go, get you out of there. How you over here making money? So I realized one day the guy put the sign on the building saying I guess he got tired of everybody complaining about me. So he put the sign on the building and said he wanted to sell the building. And I'm like, man, I can afford to buy. I think I can buy this. Man, I bought the building and all my problems went away,
Look at that.
Them people that wanted me out of there became good tenants.
I mean, you see, that's how you switch a negative situation to become positive for you by using your mind, by using your senses. So that was a great thing that you did by buying the building. And now you are a real estate guru, a gentrification guru, to where you actually teach people about this, right? So talk about your book. How can people get your book from?
Yeah, so because I had so many years of real estate business ownership of, buying apartment buildings, I thought that lowrider money was a dream. And one day, I was putting big wheels on cars. I thought that was a dream. This was short lived because listening to the people around me telling me, Mom, somebody better get a real job and all that. I thought that was short lived, wasn't gonna last long. So I started working toward buying property to rent out, and hopefully I can match the money that I'm making in low riding. So I ended up with a lot of property back then, and I was able to make a lot of money off of it, but not as much as I was in low riding. But long story short, I learned a lot about real estate in those 20 years. You know what I mean? So when the market really changed, I started realizing that people being priced out of the community. So I ended up traveling around the country. I did 15 states. In an effort to do 25, I was only able to do 20. I was only able to do 15 because when I started talking about gentrification, a lot of people kept asking me to come back because they didn't realize. I didn't realize that California was last. So gentrification had been going on around the country in crazy ways. Exactly. Over a decade in Philly, over a decade in New York. You know what I'm saying? Over a decade in DC, and they was being wiped out. Where LA, it was just getting off the ground, So I come in with a bunch of solutions. So they kept telling me, you need to write a book because you're the only one that ever said this. You need to write a book because we didn't even know what gentrification was until you brought it to the table. Now you're telling us it's a problem. So I was the one who made it national that gentrification is affecting the black community. So I wrote that book, and man, it became a bestseller, and it's in 13 black bookstores around the country, and I'm working to get it in more. And people always ask, why is it not on Amazon? Because I'm a businessman. I understand what's going on. When Amazon came out, over 500 black bookstores closed down. So why do I want to participate with something that's affecting black business? When you own a business, you understand what's going on around you. So I'm not going to do something that's going to affect my partner's radio show. I'm not going to do something that's going to affect my partner's tire shop. So I can't use these places. So same thing with Amazon. I can't use that if it's closing black businesses down. So I choose to sell my book on my website at thomastjlofton.com. And I strongly encourage others to not use Amazon. We want our people to go in our black store. So that's what made me write the book, And the book has a workbook as well because the homeschoolers use it. I got a lot of people who saying they use my videos and my DVDs and my book as education to educate our young people. I wrote it thinking it was going to educate the young people, but I got adults buying the book,
Of course. That's no limit to education. There's no limit to knowledge. There's no way somebody can know it all. So, of course, those two will want to know more about it. And I'm sure the viewers that are watching this will like to know more about this gentrification, would like to know more about how they can impact the community, and how they could just start from small and grow to a large scale. Look, I really appreciate you, TJ, for coming here with this video. If you would like to be one of an inspired business owner who wants to come on this Spotlight series,
Volume turned down, good brother.
there is a link. What did you say, brother?
Your volume turned down, fam.
Oh, okay. I said if you would like to be one of the business spotlights, if you would like to come on our business spotlight series, sorry, the link is actually in the comments below. So all you gotta do is just click the link, and it's right there in the comments. I don't know if TJ can hear me. Okay, but I think it's connected, man. I think it's connected. I don't know if you could. It might be from your end, but I'm sure I'm speaking into the mic.
It just all of a sudden went low. Hold on, let me check mine.
Yeah, it might be from your end.
Don't see what happens.
But yeah, man, appreciate you guys for watching this. We're just having a little technical difficulties now. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you would like to get to know more about us, the link is in below. Just click the link that's pertaining to it. It's all in descriptive. And guys, we thank you for watching. TJ, do you have any last word, any last advice you're trying to give anybody who feel like they don't have the money, or they're scared, or there's something stopping them from getting in this? Any advice you just want to give them real quick?
Yeah, you got to change the people who you hanging around, the people who you learning from. You know, it's a lot of phonies out there teaching business and teaching things, but they're just there to discourage us with disinformation. You hear me?
Yes,
you know,
yes.
they know that it's a lot of money in real estate being made. It's a lot of money in business being made. So there's a lot of false teachers out there teaching things. Like people come up, get your credit right and all of this. Man, we ain't got to worry about people who building houses from the ground up. They ain't got no credit.
They ain't got no credit.
So, yeah, so it's like they teaching us all the wrong things. So that's why I'm out here teaching people the right way. You know, so support what I do, buy the book, monetizing gentrification, building black ownership, talks about real estate and business. So get the right information, family. Bring in the right speakers to your event. You know, book me to speak. Don't ask the teachers what are they teaching in school. Tell the teachers what you expect them to teach our children. You know what I mean? We go into these schools every day. Every year we go into schools and the schools tell us this is what we teach. It's like, man, they need to be teaching construction and how to build a tiny house or something, you know, how to work on cars. They need to put the trades back in the school because there ain't enough people to do the trades. And the trades is paying more money than regular jobs. So we got to be direct. Don't ask them what they doing. Tell them what you expect of them because you paying them. They work for you.
Exactly. So you guys hear that? Hope this message can touch somebody out there to do better and be better and know that you are great. Know that there's nothing stopping you but your mind. So reprogram your mind, change your surroundings, change the friends that you're with if they are not helping you to grow. And if you are a taxpayer out there and just looking for something to get into, contact TJ. He has the book for you. He has a step guide out for you to get into this real estate business, how you can monetize this real estate business and really just better your life. So you guys be blessed, stay tuned, and always know that you are the one. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Peace.
Sure.